Hi everyone, welcome to a little video about the exciting world of front-end menus. Made even more exciting because I'm talking about functionality and intuitiveness rather than what makes a cool front end. The front end for Spacetime has come a long way from its first version that you see here. In this version, all you can do is pick how many players there are. I always knew this wouldn't be sufficient because I had a concrete idea of where I was taking the gameplay, and it was far from this abomination. These controls are horrendous. Let's never speak of this again. We later updated this menu to allow for the players to choose teams individually. It still wasn't going to be enough because each player has to be able to choose a team and a ship. So to make things simpler, we had to make things a whole lot more complicated. That sounds stupid, but it's true. So the menu became 3D-ish. The functionality for players, characters and ships is all now kind of here in this version, but we had to make the people 4 times normal size and the ships half the size as well, just so you could see what was going on, because otherwise it was, well, ants climbing into ships, which looked stupid. But it messed up a lot of other stuff in the code because I had to hack it. Looking in game, though, you notice the interior of the ships now exists, which is a good start. You can use the consoles, but there's absolutely no indicator of what does what. You can use them, but it doesn't tell you anything about what they do, or even if you can use them. So after that prototype was done, I did some scribbly designs on paper, and Ben began his long quest to make a slightly less hideous version that uses perspective to stop me needing to hack scales. As Father Ted would say to Dougal, these are small, those ones are far away. It does look better, but you'd still need a manual to figure out what you were going to do. Some people managed to actually, so it wasn't that bad. But others were confused and were wandering around hammering buttons. The same was true in game. As you can see, these are now all flashy bits up in the corner. We thought that people would naturally head for flashy bit number 1 because it was a 1, but surprisingly that just didn't happen, and people just went for the first flashy bit they saw and went, ooh, wonder what this does. Some people managed fine, but enough completely failed that we couldn't deny it was an issue. At least people understood that they could use consoles now. Let me take a little diversion to talk about complex game mechanics. It's a problem that I have. Just me. Lemon Dungeon was a fun game that was pretty successful and had good review scores, but it was really complex mechanically and didn't follow expected conventions, which is pretty normal for me. That led players to having to endure what was effectively 30 minutes of tutorial levels before they could really be let loose in the game. And fair enough, plenty of people were fine with that and really enjoyed the game, but it's hard to blame anyone for just not bothering and moving on to something else. You have to accept as a developer that that's your failing and not theirs. Dead Exit was also mechanically very complex and an original game mechanic, so no one knew what it was. And for that we tried to just let players get on with it. There was a very short tutorial, and we also gave them the option of reading up more in the menu, watching a video on how to play things, and there's even more videos on YouTube to do some of the more advanced stuff. Again, it was great for some people, but there's still a huge issue where some people just never managed to figure out the game at all. And despite looking a little more arcade, Spacetime also has pretty complex mechanics. So I think I have to accept that the games I make have complex mechanics that will be unfamiliar to new players. The difference this time is I absolutely plan to lie about it. I like the complex controls, but I'm trying to make a serious effort to trick players into thinking it's not very complex. Yeah, to show you what I mean, we'll move on to the current version. It has all the same functionality as the last version, but it also has instructions. Not explicit instructions, but implicit ones. As soon as I push any button, I appear with a little pizzazz. Now the lights on the left appear, beckoning like a tasty space exploration flavoured cake. So maybe that's where I should go, but I'm going to go and play with these buttons that have a big button icon on them. They flash when I press them, and it's immediately obvious what they do. If I then wander on to the left, the countdown starts. everyone panics before realizing it's a launch sequence. The lift drops down with me following like Wile E. Coyote, and then I run after my ship like I missed the bus. Okay, so it's obviously not finished, but you get the idea. People who have tested it now appear to do what is expected of them and get into the game fine. In game now, only the driver console is flashing for them too, so they do head over to that one. Then later they mess around noticing that other things, other consoles work too, and that's exactly what we want. We've still got a long way to go. There's extra features to be added and some things to be made more clear. Well, like, what method are we going to use for the there's a thing you can do? You can make, say, characters' heads turn towards something, which is something the games do, or make a character reach out towards it, but that might be too small to notice. We could maybe make it the object itself highlight to show that it can be used when you're near it. The point is that the focus is now on intuition rather than instruction. So if you take anything away from this, it should be that explosions are very pretty. But if you take two things away, then the second one should be that you don't always have to tell players how to play. In the ancient old wise game design words that I don't remember who said, do, show, speak, write. Bye for now.